Hey guys, it's Mongolian Mindset, and today we're gonna be helping one of our members, Tor, find her personality type. You don't have to go into any traumas, anything like that, or anything you're not comfortable with, but we will use what you say to triangulate down on your best fit personality type. What you say we'll use. So, like, if you're conceived, may not get your personality type because you're a troll. But can you introduce yourself?
I'm Tor. I'll be 34 here shortly. I'm a mom. I live in Canada. And yeah, I don't know. I just say things like they are. So,
Um, where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years?
um, 5 to 10 years. So I actually made some notes, but I'm going to try not to reference them the best I can. 5 to 10 years, I would like to own my own house and I would like to like have a farm, grow my own vegetables, sell them. I want to be able to save up enough money for my son's education, put him through education. Hopefully settle down. I don't know. And yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much about it.
Okay. What do you want to be remembered for?
It's so funny because I see you ask people this and I'm like, I don't know. And I don't know if I really care. Because people are gonna have like their own opinions, right? But I guess things like being a good mom, being understanding of other people and
Jeez.
being able to see all sides of a situation or like cut through the bullshit that's being told. So
Oh,
like, yeah.
scratch that, Thomas.
What's up?
That's it. Scratch what I just put in the chat.
Oh, okay.
And you said, what you said again? You said being understanding and seeing all angles.
Yeah, like being understanding, seeing all angles, but at the same time, not accepting any bullshit.
Okay. What is something you're working on for 2024?
So I am working on paying off debt, saving money, and hopefully investing some money. So money is my core focus for 2024.
Hmm. What do you think is like a couple things three things you struggle with?
So on my list, I know the first thing I said was relationships. It's been a struggle all my fucking life. Relationships, any sort of relationships, friendships, relationships. I just can't seem to maintain them. I'm too busy for them. People seem to think I'm not like physically there for my friendships and relationships. Um, Another one is okay, I am gonna reference my list here. Hold on.
Cheating.
I don't know. Yeah, no. I had some good ones. I can't even find it now, but I even highlighted each section. Oh my gosh. It was not good. Um, oh yeah, I wrote a lot more about the last one. Um, I don't know. So like, how do I want to be remembered for? Yeah. Besides, I don't know, like being a good mom,
Mhm.
um, being a good person overall, and doing what I don't know. Like I honestly like I just don't care. Like besides being a good mom, I honestly really just don't care.
Mhm. Okay. If you could have any job in the world, what would it be? Why?
So I would be a property management. That's what I would love to do. If I had enough money and be able to like invest in some properties and kind of own them, take over them. And then another one would be like a psychologist, psychiatrist as well. But again, I'm not good with people dynamics, so I don't know if that would be the best fit for me.
Mhm.
But it would be neat to be like a psychiatrist and be able to organize people's medications and stuff like that, because that's more of like systemized.
You got anything?
Yeah. If you had three wishes, what would you wish for?
Yeah. So my biggest wish when I was writing these down was the absence of money. I know a lot of people say like unlimited money, they want all the money, but I actually want absence of money in the world. That's probably my biggest one. Safety for my own health and the health of my family, and no discrimination in the world.
Mm, mm, mm. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. Hmm. What is something that stresses you out?
I actually had a situation today and I realized how much this stuff stresses me out. Disorganization fucking stresses me out. Because I have everything pretty much to a T going forward. And when things are disorganized, it makes me rather critical and kind of upset and angry and flustered. I hate controlling and demanding people. I can't stand liars. I can't stand bullshit and too much emotion. So like when people are making decisions and it's all emotion and there's no logic to it, that I can't stand that.
Okay. Why do you think you how do you deal with emotional people just in general? Like if you have to family members, I know everyone's got family members.
Yeah, and a lot of them are unemotional, so it's fun. I've learned a lot of tricks over the years, and I've actually had to kind of go to counseling because I used to just rage on people and lose it. And I realized that that was not the best way to go about dealing with emotional people, obviously. So when I did my work, I kind of learned to what I do now is I take a step back. So I have to remove myself from the situation so that I can kind of calm down the anger that I feel inside. And then I will go back and I'll actually approach it very diplomatically. Like, okay, so, this situation happened, this situation happened, this situation happened. I understand that this is how you feel, right? But going forward, maybe we should do it this way and that way and try to get their input and then work together to find the best case scenario. If I'm really angry and dealing with emotional people, I'll go take a walk. Like I find physical activity is the best way to get rid of those, like the anger that's built up inside of you. So that's the best way I can deal with emotional people. Most of the time though, I just kind of have to separate myself from them.
Okay. What do you think about the average person? What do you think holds back the average person? What do you think holds back the average person? I got to get away. I have to get you away from that fucking list.
No, I'm not actually referencing it right now. It's only like the three wishes I had to look back at. But so what do I think about the average person?
I said, what do you think holds back the average person?
Holds back the average person. Okay. Procrastination, doubt, and laziness.
Do you see any of that in yourself by chance? Doubt, laziness,
Funny.
procrastination?
I see where you went with that. The doubt part for sure. I'm not lazy and I don't procrastinate, but I do have a lot of doubt. And a lot of it does surround around money, especially with the economy and the way that life is right now. Money is a very big hardship for me. So yes, doubt in terms of money. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of scary time right now.
It really is. Yeah.
I'm kind of glad I don't have kids because I'd be like, what the fuck? I'd be like, it's kind of stressful. Be more stress.
Kids are a blessing because they make you grow up. But trying to raise kids right now in terms of just how the society is, how media is, and the money, it's really, really difficult.
Also, that's what I'm saying. Like, pretty much like the whole economy have fucking inflation's been through the roof. And barely anybody got any raises accommodated to those inflation rates. Yeah. So it's like everything just went up, and it's like you have to have kids too. So, and money's not coming in. So like a lot of the Americans are using a lot of credit cards right now.
Yeah, that's been happening for quite some time, and it's the amount of debt that we're racking up is a little ridiculous. And then there's nothing you can do about it. You can't pay it off. You're literally just paying off the interest every time. That's it. That's all you're doing.
Yeah, it's a shit deal. What do you see yourself at 60?
60, hopefully settled down. Hopefully
settle down.
Hopefully. Well, that's like where I want to be when I'm 60. That would be awesome. Yeah, like settle down, like I said, kind of like in terms of what I want for my future, right? I want to be able to succeed at my goals by the age of 60. I think like one of your questions was fear. So this is one of my other fears. my fear is getting to 60 and not being capable to take care of myself. I'm not even scared of death. I'm scared of being incapable of taking care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
So like when I'm 60, if I have not succeeded in my goals, I'm not where I want to be, then I mean, honestly, like this sounds fucking awful, but like just off me. Cause like if I can't do anything, let's say like I'm senile and I'm grumpy
Mm-hmm.
and whatever, like I don't want to be a part of it. Like I'd rather just not be here.
That's what I somebody asked me that one time. They said, "What is your greatest fear?" And I said, "Being like paralyzed, like because like there's no real life for you, really. I mean, yeah, you can like think about a lot of stuff, but then like you just naturally a burden to everybody over and over and over and over and over and over. And it's like, how long can you kind of take on that? Like, one day is not bad, but then you start stringing on multiple days, and it's like the same shit over and over. Can't wipe your ass, you're shitting on yourself. Like, it's like, check me out of here.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Thomas, you got anything?
Trying to ask you something something different.
Something I don't have in my notes.
Well, I mean that's partially that, but just I don't know, just try to go in a different direction. I don't think we asked what's a skill you think everybody should have.
I think everybody should have the skill of self-improvement. So like getting to know themselves and improving themselves over their lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
What's something you're self-conscious about?
Right now, where I am in my life compared to where I thought I'd be right now. And self-conscious about, and probably my inability to maintain my relationships and friendships. It's incredibly frustrating.
And
I'm laughing at you because it's very similar. Like for me, I don't struggle with maintaining like guy friendships, but like women, oh god.
Well, and the thing with being a woman is that I don't get along with a lot of women.
Mm-hmm.
But when I get along with guys, but the problem with guys is that they start to think that there's more to it. So like I befriend a bunch of guys and then guys are like, oh, she's into me. Oh my gosh, I want this girl. And then it becomes something else. And I'm like, I can't do that because you just made it fucking complicated. So I don't want to be around you because you made it fucking complicated. So it just sucks. So I've ended up having to leave so many friendships because of that reason. And there's a lot of really awful people out there in the world. Like, I mean, I don't want to be pessimistic or anything, but like there really is. And to try to find good people is just, it's exhausting as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Me, I just noticed that I don't really like people in my space. I'm not a very like I don't really like people in my space, and then they impede on what the fuck I want to do and shit like that. Like if someone, like let's say some girl stays over or something, I like to play my audiobooks before I go to sleep. Like I always play audiobooks.
Yeah.
Because like over the course of time, if I get like an hour in of it or 30 minutes in and I wake up to it or whatnot, over the course of a year, that's a lot and it adds up. But if they're over, I can't play that shit, Or
right,
like,
exactly.
And so they're in my way.
I'm with you. I do the same thing. So it's actually kind of funny because like even with my ex, it was the same thing. It's like, why you always gotta listen to something before you go to sleep? And I'm like, because I can't fucking sleep. My mind is too busy. So like I need something to focus myself onto one thing so that I can sleep. He's like, well, maybe I want to cuddle, maybe I want to do this. And I'm like, no, I want to fucking read my book in my ears that I want to sleep. So
I have Alexa. I have Alexa in like every room.
Nice.
So like I'll just say it. And then sometimes like I'll just, if I really wanted to just like abstract and be alone, I'll just tell it to play ocean sounds. And
nice.
it'll play ocean sounds, and then like I'm like off in my own universe somewhere, like thinking about things or thinking about like things I want to solve or thinking about complex things that me and Thomas and them are talking about in the group or something. And then I'll get my answers eventually or somewhere. Or I'll just think about shit. It's weird.
Kind of like shower thoughts, but you have like bedtime thoughts.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I don't like people fucking that shit up for me. Like I hate it. Like, why is this motherfucker next to me? Raging. Well, it's not good long term.
That's so true, and I hear you. And that's I think I asked you too, like something to do with dating or something, and like I'm with you 100%. Right now, I think I just enjoy my own time so much, and I could
Mhm.
not let go of my routines and the things I like to do. It's just like I couldn't imagine getting in a relationship and then losing everything I've built up so far. Like I
Yeah.
don't want to change. So
I think you get a better deal than we get. Like as a guy, you like literally have to change. As a woman, you kind of make them change. So it's kind of like unfair for us. You know, we pretty much have to give up our shit. It's just got
you know,
to
it's
happen.
debatable because I've always felt like more of a guy, and apparently the guys I date are kind of more like girls. So
Mhm.
it's almost for me, it's been like the flip reverse.
Really?
Yeah. So it's just it's strange. I don't know if I'm like just dating all the wrong people, like all the assholes in the world. I don't know, but
I don't know.
yeah, that's
I feel like you just like when you're dating, if you're a guy, like it's just gonna happen. Like they're gonna chip you away, like from the shit you want to do, and it's just how it is. You become Atlas with the world on your back. You know, that's just what it means to be a man. So I'm like, you get the lucky end of the stick. You get to freaking make them change. Like, oh, I feel like hearing books when I read. And I'm like, they're like, oh, I don't want to hear the books when we read. I'm like, fuck, goddamn, oh, you're being super insensitive. And I'm like, oh man, no.
oh, here we go. Yeah.
So yeah. So that was interesting. That's pretty interesting. What do you think is the worst part about dating?
Everything. I don't know. I don't mind getting to know people. I love that part, but and it's not even the commitment that I don't like either. It's like um I don't know, like I'm just not good at giving them the time that they want. So like even with dating, it just
Mhm.
sounds exhausting to me. It really does. Like I don't know if I have the capacity to give somebody the time right now to date them anyway. It would like I don't have the time and I don't have the energy to do it. So I think that's probably the biggest thing when it comes to dating. I don't know. And I hate this online dating. I'd rather just meet somebody in real life
Mm-hmm.
that I know. So this online dating just I won't like I just refuse to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um and then I don't know, like I don't really know all that many people and let alone anybody I'd be interested in. The other thing is, and this is just obviously I don't know if we're gonna post this or not, but between me and you, I prefer dark skinned guys. So for me, where I live right now, there's not a lot of options for me. And if I were to go into the city, then my options are limited to drug dealers and gangsters and things like that. And it's like, okay, well, I don't want to get mixed in with that. That's not where I want my life to go,
Mm-hmm.
right? All that's going to do is impede on where I want to go in my life. So why would I do that? So it's just, I'm finding selection also really hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just like, oh my god, it just drains me. Like, when you wake up in the morning, you got to text somebody some shit like good morning, all this shit. It's like, goddamn, like, I'm already losing energy, like thinking about it. And then, like, let's say you get in a fight or something, then you like you just like thinking about that at work. You can't even work right. You're like, oh shit. They're like, oh, you fucking up today at work, man. You're like, you think about that shit. It's just like my performance just drops, and it's just like, oh god, it's just better for me. Like Christian said, bro, you've been alone so long in your life. Like my buddy jokes around, he's like, you've been alone so long in your life, bro. You ain't gonna be able to. I'm like, bro, I just operate better that way. It's just like I get
Yeah.
what I want. I can move around. I can change direction. I just have like I can make the best move always. And I feel
Yeah.
like sometimes when you have somebody else, you cannot make the best move. You got to take in their consideration. And then like if a person's stupid, I literally will not listen to a damn word you say. You will never get any like opportunity to say something. So I have to have somebody who's actually smart. Because if you're stupid, you will get like no say of anything. It would
Yeah.
just be my decision always because you're stupid. Like no consideration whatsoever. Um, but
I
yeah.
love that. Yeah.
Thomas, you got anything?
Well, I mean, it's interesting conversation. I have, kind of a lot of questions about that. But I mean, as far as is I guess if it's not like too personal, why do you think you're not where you want to be in life right now?
I think any you're not user says that shit.
Yeah, so a lot of it has to do with money. A lot of it has to do with doubt. A lot of it has to do with how I've lived my life so far. So I I've really come into my own in the last couple of years when I started waking up to the bullshit that I was being received or like dealt all my life.
Mhm.
Um, without getting too personal, let's just say I dated a lot of assholes and they
Mhm.
stopped me from doing and becoming the things I wanted to do. So now that I've been single for like 2.5 years, I'm really starting to blossom and be able to get done the things I want to get done. But like I said, money is another huge part of it, that now that I have a kid and the way that the world is, it's really hard to save money to do what you want to do.
Mhm. And you said that, I think you said that there's just a lot of bad people out there. Like, what do you mean when you say that? Like, can you give examples of like the bad people?
Like Chasm?
Like what?
What?
Like Kaz? No,
What?
I don't know. Like the guy in our
Well,
chat. Yeah. No, it's kind
Kaz,
of
No,
he's
joke.
just
Kasim. She's
he's
talking Kasim.
he's a mental case. Like he's not a bad person. I think he's just mentally like handicapped or something.
I love Kasim, man. He's a funny guy, bro. He always like comes up. I love Kasim. Like one thing about him, like you tell him one thing, he's gonna run with it, man. Like, yeah, Kasim. He asked me, he's like, "Hey, man, you think I'm a pretty boy, Chad, or do you think hyper masculine?" I'm like, Kasim, man, if anything, you're a pretty boy. He's like, "Yeah, man, I think I'm a pretty boy, man." And he goes back, and he posts all these pictures in the group. That's what I look like, right? I'm like, "Yeah, Kasim, yeah."
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
I love it. Love like he's just hilarious, man. He's in his own little world, man.
But yeah, to answer your question, so I find that there's a lot of manipulation. I find that there's a lot of inconsistencies. I find that, so one of my biggest things is that I do as I say and I say as I do. And there's a lot of people who don't do that in the world. And I tend to notice that all the time.
Mhm.
And so, like, I'll call it out, like, I'll say it as it is. I'm like, well, you just said this, but now you're doing that. So I find it really hard to cooperate with those kinds of people. And like I said, between the lying, the manipulating, um, I, I just I find like when you meet somebody, they're one way. You get to know them and you start seeing like all the like the black and white. So you start seeing all the black parts of them, all the bad parts of them. And that's fine. I get it. Everybody has bad parts of them. But when they seem to consistently be bad, or if they're not willing to see the bad within themselves and make the changes to do as they say, then it just like for me is it I don't really see a point in continuing with those people. So I don't know. Maybe that's my own
Yeah, I get that.
bad. Yeah.
Do you like in your dating experience, do you find yourself like wearing a mask almost when you're dating or anything like that?
So I don't date. So when I have my eyes on a guy, I will go get it. I don't like just randomly date people. It's usually just this thing that happens. So I've never really experienced the dating game. I've just kind of been friends with somebody or known them at work or something like that, and then shit just goes down. I find on average I probably do wear a mask out in public just because it's easier for me to like I've kind of learned to be that way because of the way that I am inside and the way that I operate is a little too much for most people. And so therefore when I go out in public, I feel like in a sense I have to wear my like FE mask all the time where it's like, hi, how's it going? How's your day? You know, like fake it up till I make it basically, right? Like that's what I have to do. And that's fine. I've learned how to fucking perfect that at this point. But yeah, definitely I would say so. But if I were dating, I don't think I'd wear a mask. I'd be really cut and chase because it's like I know what I want. And if you can't accept me for who I am, then we're already done anyway. So
Yeah, I always feel like I would have to wear a mask because like me personally, I'm very cold and calculated. So if I go to a date and I'm cold and calculated, I'm gonna scare the shit out of somebody. Okay. So I have to put on a mask to where I'm not cold and calculated. Because it just like it scares people away. But slowly but surely they meet that person. They're like, you're not the person I thought you was. Because I'm just like very cold and calculated. Like I'm very like everything, every move is made very calculated. So like that mask starts to wear off like after they've been around too long. They're like, oh shit, this like my brother says he says I'm the closest thing that he's ever met to a psychopath. I don't he says that because he says I have no empathy, but I think he like, he over embellishes as an ENTP. He wants to kind of like just like slam me. But it's some truth to it. But I definitely think I definitely wear a mask. Like fuck that shit, because it's just you get better results. Like if you get those results, you know.
Especially too if you're not looking for anything long term. So it's like if you're just looking for something short term and some fun, then yeah, wear the mask to get what you want, right? But if you're looking for something long term, it's almost better to go about it in a way where it's like, listen, this is all of me, fucking take it or leave it. If you don't like it, then walk away. If you
can't do that as a
then
you can't do that as a guy. See? Must be nice, huh, Thomas? Take
I
it or
don't see
leave
why
it.
not.
A guy does that shit, take it or leave it. It's like, bro, that's just not gonna work. That is
That's what I
definitely
respect
put on
in a
that
guy. So
mask,
like
buddy. If you're a dude in the chat, I mean, if you're a dude watch this, put on that fucking mask, man.
no, like, and that's the thing with me is that I'm different. It's like if you come with a mask, one, I'm gonna see that as some sort of like bad quality in you. It's like show up as you are. If I like you, I'll accept you. So it works the opposite for me. It's like if you wear a mask, I'm already thinking like, yo, this guy's fucked. Like, because I'm gonna see right through you in 2 seconds. And once I do, I'm gonna know that this is all a fake, and I fucking hate fake. So just
I think people think a lot of times they think I'm way more outgoing than I actually am. It's hilarious. I absolutely love it. You know, you can like play with a couple things here and there, and then people think you're doing some shit that you're not even fucking doing. I love it. People are so easy to manipulate. But Thomas, do you find yourself wearing a mask or anything like that, or it's just
well, yes and no. I mean, I guess it's more so I don't feel like I can't be who I actually am, you know?
yeah, that's what yeah.
Like in some sense I had kind of have to fake social interaction just so that I kind of like keep the peace and so that I can kind of like, you know, quote unquote vibe with people, you know? But it's like it's not multiple masks. It's just like, you know, once I understand the vibe, I can kind of just like I can blend in, you know.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. It's like one mask. I put on this one mask, and because if I sat back and was just like me, they'd be like, "What the fuck? This motherfucker's like calculating, like this cold dude, ruthless." You know, so I try to, cover that up a little bit. You know, put a little bit of makeup over here, a little bit of makeup over there.
I kind of feel the both of you, but at the same time, I feel like I've become really good at this, but depending on who I'm with and the vibe that I'm with, I can put on multiple masks. So like depending on, you know, the group or something, I might be able to actually be really extroverted, even though I'm like, I fucking hate this. Like I hate this group shit. I hate this people stuff, but like I can really try to do it, you know, like if it's a party, I can really bring on the reins of like, yeah, I'm the life of the party. So I can put on different masks when it's needed. And I feel like that's something I've really had to work on throughout my life, because in order for me to even remotely fit in with the average person or group, that's what I've needed to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For myself, I feel like there was like a huge like shift in like high school where it was like I was very introverted and then it flipped. Just out of nowhere, just like completely flipped. And it was like, oh shit. And it just completely changed out of nowhere. I don't know. I think it was like my brother graduating and leaving the house or something. And then it was like my house now.
Yeah.
But it completely changed. What do you think something the next generation should learn?
I had a note on this, but I'm gonna try not to look.
Damn, I gotta stop
And
asking shit.
this is not what I had on my list, and it just came to mind. Money management, how to manage your money better, and how to just, I don't know, like treat people more fairly and kindly. Because again, like with the discrimination, I know we're kind of slowly getting there, but it's still there. So if we can not just judge everybody by the way they look or the color of their skin or what they choose in life, I think that's something I would teach the younger generation.
I mean, I'm gonna discriminate a little bit on what they choose. I mean, if you choose to be a piece of shit, I gotta discriminate for you.
No, absolutely. I don't know. Like, I guess there's fine lines there, right? Because like, yeah, I agree with you. And I even find that statement in myself a little contradicting. So I'm like, yeah, like what defines, you know, good and bad, because I guess we all have our own definitions of what is good or bad.
Mhm.
And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. What's your definition of good or bad by chance?
Oh my goodness, my definition?
Yeah. What do you deem like good or bad?
I thought we kind of a little bit already went through this. I don't know, like again, like good is just do as you say and say as you do. Be kind to
Consistency.
others, don't discriminate of, you know, anything they choose. Although, you know what, never mind, I'm gonna not say that. But like don't, you know, don't discriminate. Be kind to others, be respectful when you're just generally out in public. Don't be a fucking asshole. Like there's no need for it.
Mhm.
And then I mean, bad, I think we already kind of went over that. Like, don't be manipulative, you know, don't fucking lie, don't sell people bullshit, don't be a schemer. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Thomas, you ready? What do you think?
Just want to ask one more question. So, well, I don't know. It's not really about typing, but it just seems like you're maybe not happy where you're at, and I know that money's kind of an issue. But I mean, have you really like thought about maybe moving somewhere else, or specifically?
Moving somewhere else specifically. So I live in Canada and I
Ooh.
really fucking like it here.
Oh, you do?
I do. I like it in Canada, but I've always like for me, I'm not like a religious person, so this Western culture thing doesn't really sit well with me. But at the same time, I do like where I live. The money situation is getting very, very similar and close to what the US is part of. So, I mean, whatever. It's just for me because I didn't, because I didn't really take the steps when I was younger to really focus on these things to the best of my ability because they were there. I just never took action on them, right? And then there were times where I had money, but I ended up spending it on the now, like on this situation in the now, instead of saving it for my future.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to do that, I would be in a different spot. So a lot of it is my own fucking mistakes. And I get that. So it's a matter of moving forward. And even in things like that, I've read about, and I take this as a grain of salt, but in my astrology, it says that my success is going to be later in life. So not that I'm holding on to that, but it kind of makes sense to me because now that I am where I am, I know exactly where I want to go. And I know exactly how to get there. It's just a matter of putting in the time, work, energy, you know, not dating people who literally just want to go and spend money 24/7. That will help me to succeed at where I want to go. So it's no one's fault technically but my own.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Well said. Yeah. Well, Thomas, you ready for it?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
All righty. Your personality type, sorry to tell you this, ESFP.
No, there's no way. Wait, you're
I'm
fucking
fucking
joking,
with you,
right?
man. Tom, you didn't see the chat. I said I was gonna fuck with her. No, it's INTJ.
Sorry, I didn't hear you there.
You heard that? FIJ came out quick. No, there's no fucking way. I'll just fuck with you. No, it's INTJ.
INTJ?
Yeah, INTJ. Your progression focus, it's more you're about kind of like trial and error and learn as you go. You're on the journey of life. It's not like a specific outcome you set forth and going for. Obviously T, F, I, S, C, N, I, you know where you're going, you know where your future is, you know where it's headed. So and you're direct. So yeah, only choice is left is INTJ. I think I called it like as soon as you got on the camera, I'm like, oh, she's an INTJ. But
As soon as you hit record.
yeah. As soon as I hit record, I was like, INTJ. But like ESFP was perfect.
Oh, I was so dreading you saying that because like so
There's no fucking way.
I know, right? Like,
Reminds me of him.
It's been a journey for me to try to find my type. And so originally when I was dating the last asshole I was dating, I kept testing as like a feeler. Like no matter what I fucking did, I was testing as a feeler. And it was driving me nuts because I'm like, I just don't feel like a feeler. I've never felt like a feeler. And so it was always like INFJ, INFJ, INFJ. And I'm like, I just don't fit this particularly because I don't see my FE, right? Like I just don't see it. And then I started to get in, well, maybe I'm an ISFP, you know, because like at times I would really get quiet because I had to fit the mold that he put me in.
Mm-hmm.
So for a while. And then I got typed by another person,
Mm-hmm.
and he specifically told me I was an ENTJ. And then I saw your video on like whale shit, and I'm like, bro, am I whale shit ENTJ? Fuck. I was like, no, there can't be any fucking way. I'm like, no, and I'm losing my fucking mind. And I'm just like, shit. And then I was like, well, maybe I'm just holistic, right? Maybe I'm just a holistic ENTJ. And I'm like, but I feel much more introverted. I really do. I've always felt more introverted. So when you said INTJ, for me, definitely matches. I just thought that in our interaction, I was wondering if you would say I was an ENTJ, because I am actually a little bit, I don't know the terminology to the best of my knowledge as I'm learning it, but I'm a little bit more talking with you, right? Yeah, initiating than I am just sitting back answering questions all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the better metric there is outcome versus progression. It's more like, because anybody could kind of be like responding, or some people can initiate here and there, especially like people who've kind of worked on being more like talkative or whatnot, or worked on their social skills. They can be like that. But the one thing that doesn't change is like progression versus outcome.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that since I learned or was told that I was an ENTJ, all I've been testing for is INTJ on different platforms.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's actually really interesting to me. And I'm actually happy that they're closer than what I thought that they would possibly be, because I've been struggling a little bit with my type. So I like this a little bit better. I feel a little bit more comfortable in the skin of an INTJ. So yeah, thank you.
Any questions?
Maybe not like necessarily on recording. I just find that I just find that there's a lot of things in regards to type that are inconsistent. And it's just kind of bothering me because I like linear information. So I like it when it's structured and linear and it's easier to understand per se. So I find even with type, it's a little bit hard when one person says one thing and the other person says another thing, who the fuck to actually believe. Because who really knows, right? There's information and then there's evolved information. And each and every time you add something onto it, there's more knowledge that you have to learn about it. So I was just curious because you follow the Linda Barrens setup, right? Right.
You can see Joseph follows Linda Barrens. People just don't understand that he uses Linda Barrens' work.
And I'm starting to see it now, but I remember when I first started, because he has a different, I watched him 2 to 3 years ago. Like, it's been a long time since I've even remotely watched his videos, but even his idea of what like a shadow was different from what I would believe a shadow to be. Right? Like, I think he said at the time, I thought I was an INFJ. He said the shadow of an INFJ was an ENFP.
Yeah, the functions just line up that way. So the function line up that way, because it's the inverse.
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
And then that function would match, the ENFP, because you would go from NITI to NIFETI, and then SE, then it would flop to an ENFP type of functions, which would be NE, FI, then it would be TE, and then SI. So it just
okay, yeah, no. It's probably just because it's been forever since I've actually looked at his work that I didn't correlate it. I just thought like 2-3 years ago, I thought he was full of shit. So that's all.
I mean, he says a lot of things that are good. I mean, I don't dislike the guy. I think he's trying, but he's an ENTP, so there's just so much chaos with those guys. I think there's a lot of things unclear. It's not direct, specific, concise, and to the point. So sometimes you can walk away, watch one of his videos, and be like, "What the fuck did I even watch?"
Yes.
Then you feel like you wasted your time. So I'm not a big fan of that. I do think what he's done is he's taught people the ability to be able to type people. Like, people got to see someone doing it, and I think he's been the first person to show that like you could type people very fast or whatnot, and have reproducible results. So I'll give him kudos to that. But that's all I'm giving him.
Yeah, that makes sense. My other question is, sometimes you guys do type people on their Enneagram. If you had your best guess, I already know my Enneagram. If you had your best guess, what would you say my Enneagram would be?
8.
Really?
What would you say?
Well, you were talking about fear, so I thought 6 maybe. You talk about fear a lot.
What would be my instinct?
Me, I'm gonna go SPXX.
Interesting. And Thomas?
Yeah, Mercer knows Enneagram better than I do. But I think I would probably agree. Yeah, I would agree with that. Social would be last, I think. I think SX would probably be second because like I think there's a desire for a relationship, but again, you're prioritizing like kind of like your own like self-preservation above that. So I think SPSX, I agree with that.
So I am a Enneagram 6, SXSP.
Yeah,
all right.
Counterphobic. Okay.
See it? Yeah, that's I was wondering.
That's why they look like 8.
Yeah, exactly. That's why. And I am relationship focused. I've been like that my entire fucking life. But now I'm stepping into the SP and I'm like, enough of this. Now it's time for me. So
yeah. Damn it. God damn it. Fuck you, Thomas.
I like that.
I like fuck you. I definitely thought like 8. You look kind of remind me of this girl I know with like, very bossy, very, very bossy. She's a doctor. Anesthesiologist. She's fucking bossy as shit. So much chaos comes from that woman. Jesus Christ.
But
Awesome.
how'd you figure out your type? How'd you figure out your Enneagram?
So I did a lot of research. I did a lot of tests. I did reach out to a local woman, and she told me my tri-type was 639, and I'm like, there's no fucking way. So I did a little bit more research because I've been stuck on
6. The 6 goes to 9 and it goes to 3.
Right.
Exactly.
So that's exactly. So that's why I was like, there's no way that I'm a 3. I know that for a fact. And then the 9, I've tested on Catherine's test as a 694 and an 864. So I was like, okay, so I don't know my body type. Even when I got typed for Enneagram, they had a hard time typing my body type. And from what we know, because I'm a critical as fuck person and I don't like anger of other people. I mean, I don't mind like my own, I know how to deal with it, but I hate other people getting angry, is that my tri-type is actually 641. I do have the 4. There's no other heart type that I have. It's a 4. Like I am not a 2 and I'm not a 3. I know those for sure. But yeah, the 4 kind of fits because it's that like longing to be in a relationship, and I really long to, although it doesn't seem like now. And the 1 fits because, like I said, I'm a critical motherfucker, and I don't like to deal with anger. Like as soon as people do get angry, I'm usually just like the first person out of the room. So I don't know. It's hard to say like between the body types because I fit all 3 of them. I fit 8, I fit 9, and I fit 1. So I don't know. But it's last in my
I haven't really got that far into it. I'm kind of just like working on the enneagrams itself, and then the self-preserving, sexual, social type things, because there's so many different ones. And then depending on the enneagram, the social might be counterphobic on this one, and then the sexual be counterphobic on the next one. So you got to kind of take all that into memory. There's a lot of stuff. So I've been kind of working on that. I haven't really gotten to type tribe stuff like that, but I've noticed a lot of NI users generally are 6s. I don't know what it is about fucking NI and being a 6. It usually gives them the predictive NI, which is, and then there's I thought for sure 8, but hey, counterphobic, I guess.
It's the counterphobic, that's what gets you. Yeah. They look really similar, right? Like they're very, very similar. So yeah. Thomas, you caught it. You're like, well, you're talking about fears a lot. So yeah. But I definitely don't fit the SP6 because I'm not like I think you guys typed one SP6 and I was like right off the bat, I'm like, that guy is an SP6. Like there's no hands down like that is totally an SP6, but I'm not that fearful. Like I'm counterphobic.
Yeah.
That was probably Sebastian, I'm thinking. Probably Sebastian.
He was an INTJ SP6.
Yeah. Yeah, that was Sebastian. Yeah, he's cool. He's cool, but yeah, he's
fucking
super,
phobic
super
as
fearful.
fuck.
Yeah,
I like him, God. But holy shit, he's scared of every damn thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I could really see that. And that's like the epitome of an SP6. It was like, holy fuck, like there's no other type he could possibly be besides a 6, like an SP6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you probably XSXSO, right?
No, she's
SXSP.
that's what she said.
So you're kind of going to you go between the both, like oscillate between XX and SP. Yeah. And 7, 6-wing 7.
Not a 6-wing 5. Yeah, it's funny because I did think that I had the 5 in me, but I'm not one of those people that like need this abundance of information. But I also really like my quiet time and my private time, and I hate when like because I live with my mom currently, so when she comes upstairs, I'm like, motherfucker, what are you doing? You know, like get out of my space. So that's kind of why I thought I had the 5 in me, but I'm not like. For the majority, I'm not chill enough to have the 5 in me. I'm a little bit more 7, and that's what was making me think that ESFP or more SE higher in my stack was the 7, right? But in fact, it's actually just the Enneagram. It's the 7 kicking in. So
yeah, I'm an 8W7 8.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I'm SPXX.
Really?
Yeah,
SPXX. I thought you would have been SXSP.
I was one of them too. To me, sometimes I read it and I'm like, it could be this one, it could be that one. It's like it goes back and forth with me. I'm like, because sometimes I could be very self-preserving, and then sometimes I'm like a very possessive, because that's what they call the sexual 8. So it kind of goes back and forth. I'm like, it kind of like oscillates for me. Not like I'm like an M1 itself. It's like just oscillates. Kind of like sometimes counterphobic 6s aren't always counterphobic. Sometimes they're phobic. I just oscillate between,
Yeah, and I go through that too. Like I have moments where I'm really, really phobic, and I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, like, why are you so scared? Like, get out of your fucking skin and go do shit, because that's what I usually am. Thomas, what's your Enneagram part of your knowledge?
I'm not 100% on mine. I think I need to do some more reading and researching on it. I would say either 5 or 6. The thing is, I think a lot of INTJs could probably relate to multiple Enneagrams. Like they could probably, a lot of them could relate a little bit to 1 because they have that moralistic FI child aspect to them. I think certain ones can relate a lot to 4 because there's a desire for authenticity and maybe creativeness. A lot of them they're going to be able to relate to 5 because of like the desire to acquire knowledge and their desire for boundaries. People not violating their space, I off the bat I related most to 5. I think Mercer disagrees. I think Mercer thinks I'm more of a 6. But 6 have that fear component. They're always trying to anticipate what can go wrong, and they worry about worst case scenarios. So I do have a little bit of that in me. But that was when I was younger, I dealt with a lot of anxiety. I don't feel like I really have that anymore though. Like I worry about things that can go wrong, but I'm not like constantly like, living in fear like that Sebastian guy.
It just doesn't mean like all the time you're in fear. Like, look at her, she's not in fear, but it's like you get it's extremes to it, but just like very strong NI generally is 6, like very strong NI usually 6, not 5. So I can see. I mean, you could be like a 6 and you have really lean into the 5. 6-wing 5.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Either that or the 5-wing 6. And I'm curious on his stacking and how that would go. Because from what I hear so far, I don't see but I don't know much about you, Thomas, but I don't see the SX5. So I don't believe that's what you would be. And you do give off SP vibes, like big time.
Yeah, I agree with SP, definitely. Yeah, probably, or either SP or SO. Probably, I think I go between both of those mainly.
So just judging off of what I know, I'd probably say, you're probably a 5-wing 6 somewhere between the SPSO section. Yeah, I wouldn't put you at a 6.
SP,
Yeah,
SO,
unless
SP.
unless you're a social 6, that would be different because those are totally like I find they're very different. But you definitely are not an SP6 for sure.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely not the SP6. No.
Yeah.
So what's the social 6 like then?
The social 6 is more regulated in and around oh, what's
It's
that
like
word I'm
pretty much in
looking
the
for?
middle of like the phobic and the counterphobic.
Counterphobic.
It's like right in the middle.
Kind of, but from what I've read as well is that they're a little bit more linear and not linear. They're a little bit more they follow specific things that they
Systems.
believe in. So
Oh,
like,
yeah,
like
systems.
yeah, systems. There you go. Thank you. Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
yeah, they adopt a system for everything.
Yeah.
System
So
or
like a
ideology
religion or like a way
Okay.
of living, or if you read a book and you're like, this is how I'm gonna live my life, like you
Okay.
will stick to that system. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever a system is, like you adopt it some way or
Yeah.
something.
So that sounds more like an SJ, like an affiliative systematic type to me.
Yeah.
Was I don't think it's that. It just depends on. It's like a system. Like I think, like if you have a routine or something, you have adopted a system and you live to that system. You know,
Yeah.
like regardless of the fact whether you see it or not. It's like
Yeah.
we all like kind of, especially if you're systematic, you adopt the system and you live to that kind of like that system. And you, no matter what the situation is, you kind of are stuck in that system, and you kind of. It's hard to say, but like a lot of people just adopt systems but without us even noticing. It's like a system or a routine or like a something that we all adopt.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But they have like ideologues as well. Like they might take principles or something and they'll just apply that. Like it's weird. It's I have to read
Yeah.
more on it to be 100% specific, but I would say a lot of people do it. But the counterphobic 6 is the crazy one. That one's unique. Yeah. Very fighty. Very like fighty, like angry.
Yeah. Feisty, full of life.
No, it's
Fuck
angry.
the world.
Angry. But anything else?
No, that's good. I think that's good. It's been a great conversation though. Thanks, guys.
All right. All right, you guys. Take it easy.
Cool.
Yeah,
You too.
see ya.
Thank you
Thanks.
so much.